defense, especially in that first half. How did you like the way that looked, and just what was your reaction to that?
I thought it was good. Obviously, they were very decimated, and they didn't have their guys. So we took advantage, but we played hard. We really played hard defensively, and our concepts seem like they're sinking in a little bit more. The way we started the Indiana game, the way we started tonight's game, seems like what we're trying to do as far as being a little bit more diverse defensively is starting to kick in a little bit. But obviously that team didn't have a lot of guys, and it was a difficult game for them.
Kelly Iko.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the concepts. It seemed like you guys were aggressive at the point of attack, and shooters, there were constant hands in the shooters' faces. What did you see on the film from Indiana's game that you liked and that carried over into tonight?
It wasn't even really the film as much as the communication part, and watching the film kind of validates that. We're at our best defensively when we are communicating with each other, when we're early to actions, and you can see we're getting early communication, and then we're early to react into whatever our protection is. So just kind of recognizing situations quicker and reacting in the correct way is what I've seen on film, and it's very much connected to our communication as a group.
Zach Allen.
Hey, Coach. Hey, how did you like the return of Ben McLemore tonight?
I mean, hey, he made his first 5 threes, so it was pretty good. He was great. I didn't really know what to expect. I only planned on playing him for about 10 minutes. So I gave him the 5 minutes in the first half, and he probably could have played a little more after he made, I think, 3 threes or 2 threes, or I think it was 3 in the first half. But, that just gives us a stone cold shooter on the perimeter. And as you've seen from our previous games, we've needed that shooting on the floor. And if we move the ball like we moved it tonight, and we create problems for the defense with quick early actions, we'll get those open looks, as you saw he did, as well as Tuck did tonight.
Mark Berman.
Steve, what's it like for you to be able to coach in your first real blowout where you can kind of relax a bit, maybe look around what you got, play some extra guys, that kind of thing for you in this one?
I felt good. I mean, obviously, you're always, even when you're up a bunch, you're still very nervous about making sure that we don't let up and making sure that we're doing things the right way. And then especially in this situation where we don't have very much practice time, kind of making sure that things are going in a way that they should and not straying from what our core principles are on both ends of the floor. So it's a good feeling. And, they were obviously decimated, and we've been there before. Every team kind of goes through it, but definitely a good feeling to get this win.
Steve Clifford said pregame, it's not fun playing against you or Tibbs or Stan, in your case you, because you're one of his best friends. He doesn't want to see you lose. What do you think about that coming from him?
That's Cliff. I mean, that's him at his essence. He is a competitor, but he is loyal as they come. And he's one of I have like 3 mentors in my life, and he's one of them. And whenever I have a question or I'm going through something, he's one of the first people I call. And we spent some time last night just talking about life stuff. And he's just such a great resource to me, and someone that I really, really cherish. And I cherish the time that I was with him. But now that we're competitors, I'm always like, you have your own team to worry about, but he's always texting, calling, and I'm doing the same. Just a really, really good person. And I cherish our friendship for sure.
Ali Kambajani.
Hey, Steven, you've often talked about towing the line between ball movement and 5 out, and then also with isolations. You had 25 assists through the first 3 quarters tonight. how would you assess how your ball movement was, and then also just the towing the line aspect between John, James, and Eric, and getting those ball handlers involved, and also with the ball movement?
Thought it was good tonight. I thought we attacked a little bit quicker. We created closeouts that we were able to drive the ball and get to the next open man, get the ball to the next open man. Our 5-out was pretty good. We still didn't do the random type stuff that'll come later in the season as we kind of get into it. But John and James are figuring out how to play together, and they're doing a good job of it. And it's up to me to just make sure that we are spaced correctly. We're doing things in a way that makes sense, where everybody's able to play to their strengths. And tonight was one of those nights you see Christian Wood and his rolls. I mean, he's really hard to guard as he rolls to the rim, and those guys are finding him. So those rolls aren't available if we have poor spacing. That's why I'm always constantly kind of like hammering home the spacing part of our offense.
Adam Spollen.
Steven, to have a really good defensive night like you did and not to have to fall back on switching everything, is that one of the real big positives that you get out of this game?
Yeah, it's just funny. I didn't even think about that, but it is. We were able to stick to our base and stay with it, and a lot less switching. And like when Ross was coming off those catch and shoots, we were able to stay home on him and not have the miscommunications that we had in the Indiana game. We had a few, and they're getting less and less as we go along. But yeah, it's good to play your base the whole game and not have to go to the switching part and then go back. And a lot of it had to do with who they had on the floor. But, you know, with limited practice time to play a full game in base, like you said, and that's a very good point. It's good for us.
Brian Bearfield.
Coach, there's a lot that has been made about an alleged disparaging remark towards James Harden's effort. Can you just speak to that on how he gives it every night? And is this the type of offense that you had sold him on coming into being the Rockets head coach?
Yeah, I mean, James' effort's been great. It's been fine. He's done everything I've needed him to do. He's played on the ball. He's played off the ball. He's, played defense. Like, I don't really have a response to anybody saying that he's not playing hard, because that's not what I see from him or the group. What was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
The second question was you able to how were you able to sell him on this type of James Harden, sell him on this type of offense that you all are playing now, coming from a predominantly three-point shooting offense to, getting a bunch of pick and rolls and playing in the paint?
Yeah, it's a process. It's a process that we continue to kind of mold and figure out. And there's communication that goes back and forth when it comes to it. But I feel like the best way to play is to be a little bit random, to have a bunch of different options to put pressure on the defense. And we're still shooting a bunch of threes. We shot 47 tonight out of our 91 shots. So we're still shooting threes, but they're coming off of less isolations and more action. And my message to the whole team is my job is to make it easier on you to play and easier on you to play to your strengths. So that's the goal.
Jonathan Fagan.
Stephen, it looked like Ben had to leave a little early and was walking kind of gingerly. What happened with him?
Yeah, I think he might have just banged knees or something. I shouldn't even say that. I don't even know. I don't know. He just said he wanted to come out of the game. So we put Jay Sean in the last 2 minutes, and I got to go find out what happened.
Thank you.
We'll take two more. Ben DeBose.
Coach, how much of the defensive effort, which you talked about, was definitely a lot better tonight, but how much of that results from the better shooting? Obviously, you had a season high 22 made threes, and when you're making those shots, they have to take the ball out, so it kind of kills the transition game. How much is the defense, and how much is the fact that you make shots, and that makes it a lot more difficult for them to get out?
Yeah, they are very much connected, offense to defense, and you would love to say that your defense is going to be there every night, regardless of what your offense does. But sometimes in the NBA, it's the other way around. If the ball is moving, everybody feels good about what's happening on the offensive end. The defensive end looks a little better. And then, like you said, when the ball's going in the basket, when we shoot 56%, we're able to get back, get our defense set, and be a little bit more organized. When you're missing, that's when mismatches happen. That's when disorganization happens. That's when your help isn't exactly where you need it to be. So, making shots definitely helps you get your defense set. But also, as far as your mindset and the spirit of the group, when